hopefully that gets us back into the game. Someone in Twitch chat, this is the most long-winded talk about one pick ever. This is somebody who clearly hasn't realised that there is 3 minutes between when they start the game and we start the game. And I mean, I could spend that 3 minutes saying nothing, I could spend that 3 minutes talking about swag tortoises, or I could spend that 3 minutes talking about the game.
Can you check if the stream is
Yeah, I'm just going to make sure that the stream, yeah, the stream is functioning. Excellent. So, the thank God he stopped. Well, you know, I'm sure you guys now know all the ins and outs of Jungle Nautilus. So let's see what the setup here is in the start. That's a very defensive start here coming out of Oxford, which they have done every game. Maybe a little bit more chaos coming in the top side of things with Aurelia and Fizz grouping up. Fizz going perhaps, just going for another ward onto the Raptors. And I think that's probably a ward to spot out the Hecarim, right?
Yeah, the Cambridge side, they were saying earlier that they are trying to make sure that Hecarim does not get the Raptors at level 1. They're trying to ensure that that doesn't happen.
Of course, Hooney, who we mentioned earlier, has made really, really good use of that tactic in the LCS. And especially against Aurelia, who wants to bully the lane. You know, how do you bully the lane when the enemy top laner comes in an item ahead?
Yep.
It's a different build path coming out this time. Remember last time, Masnarik opted to start that lane with a cloth armor. Yep. This time he's come in with a crystalline flask. So the two flasks it's going to apply. It's going to be an even more. It wasn't exactly, you know, calm last time. So they're going to get even more ham in this top lane. Which is a Climber running through the jungle. You know, he might bump into Luciak here. No, I don't think he is. Yeah, he backs off wisely, senses the danger, and Akko and a Carniflex in over here towards the top side. And it looks like they're going for a lane swap.
That is very surprising, since they were feeling shaky about the lane swap earlier today.
Aquaman is staying here. Maybe Aquaman is going to buddy the jungle with Lustlake, and we're going to see if they can rip off a big early gank somewhere. Yeah, so some definite early game shenanigans. If you look at Sivir there, hiding in the brush, just comes out of the brush too early. I mean, usually in the LCS, what you want to do is hide in that top corner and just drag the first 3 melee minions out, and that gets you the freeze very, very quickly. He accomplishes it via slightly different means, but they are going to keep that frozen up there. Meanwhile, on the bot side, going slightly more aggressively. Yeah, that was an early camp though for Climor. They warded the wrong one and he's went with the Wolves. So he's now going to teleport into the top side of things. But Luciak is still over there and he might go straight into danger, and with the teleport down, he'll have to run all the way back in, and that could be a huge CS lead.
Yeah, he's opted to walk back to the top lane, probably realizing that could be a danger. They've not seen the...
so he wisely saved the teleport.
There was a ward by the bot lane Tribush, and they did not see the jungler anywhere inside the bottom lane jungle. So they know that the jungle either started with rebuff or have started from their red. And I think they have guessed it correctly.
So I think both teams, you know, guessing some things, missing out on others. Climor not afraid to go in 2v1. Of course, whoa, that's a very early flash from Masnarik. And that's a lot of damage going to him down there. He clearly just wasn't being quite careful enough. Climor here, you know, desperately trying to get the wave shoved up to bounce it off the tower to break that freeze. He's in a really bad situation up top, and without jungle help, I can't see him getting much farm. But not as bad as the situation bot, where they're already chopping away on the tower. There's loads of farm going down to the wave. You know, Masnarik's in a huge amount of trouble there. Yeah, Climor is backing off, but he's okay.
The middle lane.
He can sustain with the W. Double sexy Cero, super low. And Quad Cannon is trickstering all over him. And whoa, that's the first blood in the top lane. Subfust comes in for the gank, and it's turned back around on them. Carniflexing getting the early first bloods. And we talked about how important it was for Carniflexing to go big in these games.
And it does look like Nautilus is struggling in the jungle. He was not able to clear the jungle before coming to top lane, so he didn't clear the walls or the Grom.
I mean, even worse, Nautilus ganked there with just the machetes. They invested a super early gank, and you've got to get some sort of return for that, and worse than that, they fed Carniflex a kill. And now Climor is going to be in just as much trouble, if not more, than Masnarik's situation in the lane freeze. I really think that these lanes should actually probably be swapped back to normal by as quickly as possible. So, you know, after talking about all the reasons that perhaps a lane swap wouldn't happen, why do you think they have pulled it in the end?
I don't know. I was all for the no lane swap.
Oh, Masnarik gets a bubble stun. There's a huge amount of damage from Devuri, but he takes an equalizing strike, and that'll be enough to save him. He gets the flash Q, and with the rend, picks up a kill. Goes super low from the tower, but he's got enough to survive. And unfortunately, Lustlake is just too far away to be able to come in there and get the return kill. Meanwhile, that's Hecarim coming right down to the to the bottom of the map, and they're going possibly for an early dragon. And with the kill in the bot lane, yeah, I mean, that's the risk of the lane swap, right?
Yep, and they know that there's no teleport available for Mesneric. He used it earlier when he was shoved out of lane on the first minute. So I think it's just a free dragon.
Clymore's not able to pick up any farm top because of that freeze by Carniflexing, so you may as well just come up and get that super early dragon.
Yep.
And this is why I wouldn't have pulled it, because look at what they did in the last game with those early dragons. They just kept piling them up.
Yep.
Got to late game, and the 5th dragon is what buried it. So to give a dragon so early, not as much of a danger as it used to be with no more gold on the dragon, but still not something perhaps that Cambridge would view as ideal.
Yep.
And Sero has now got a Crystalline Flask and 2 mana pendants just to try and sustain through the incredible amount of damage that Quad Cannon is putting onto him.
It is a very difficult matchup for the Orianna.
Yeah, it's totally counterpicked there by Quad Cannon. And you know, given Quad Cannon's earlier prowess on the Assassin LeBlanc, if he's as good on Fizz, then Oxford have got a serious problem in the mid lane. Meanwhile, over here in the top, yeah, they have reversed the lane swap. Deviri comes back, but takes a stun, a double boomerang, and a few auto attacks, and that's a lot of poke damage onto Deviri. Akuan and Carniflex in there showing their superior bot lane synergy. Really,
just stronger picks. Annie is such a strong pick against Kalista in lane.
Yeah, got the auto attack range that Kalista can't really hop away from it like she can perhaps with the harassment. So other supports like Morgana. Really, I think it's going to come down to who gets level 6 first in that 2v2. And at the moment, the edge is on Carniflex, and he's got the extra wave or 2 of CS. He's got the extra level as well. He now gets the faster back because, of course, Kalista has already gone back for the Vampiric Scepter to try and get that advantage in the 2v2 lane. Do you think they'll recall Mesneric and swap back to bot lane? No, Siva's gone back to top.
I don't think so, especially not since Teleport's down and also the Dragon's down. So
but Clymore is back to bot as well. Mesneric going very low. Oh dear, is this going to be another game consisting of Mesneric showing up in the kill feed quite a lot in the laning phase? He's able to try and use the king. He has the stun onto Clymore, so he's able to get a bit of CS without dying too much. But I think perhaps after last game, Mesneric is going to be very, very careful in that matchup. Meanwhile, here in the top lane, Carniflexing's getting a bit of trading onto Deviri. At the moment, it is going their way. Carniflexing on half mana, lost a bit of health as well. And they've got this lane pushed in. Maybe they're in a position to start denying some farm to Carniflexing, which they have to do to recover that wave lead he's got over Deviri.
Middle lane, both mid laners have hit level 6. Fizz's kill potential is extremely high at level 6.
Sero was a level behind, and he was very lucky here, but here comes a gank from the Nautilus, but he's spotted out.
And, straight away.
Nothing's going to happen there, and he is just going to content himself with the Scuttle Crab. And apart from that failed early gank top, he hasn't really done an awful lot this game, has he?
No, he hasn't. So his down on CS.
Whoa, Clymore gets the kill, the 1v2 outplay, and is able to use the Spirit, saves the Spirit of Dread to rush out again. So sorry we missed that, but our sake is, we could, let's rewind for it. So let's look at how that went down the top lane. Clymore jumps in on Mesneric, gets a few cleaves off. In comes the gank from Lushtyak. Clymore just goes and places the ward, and that's probably going to spot out Lushtyak when he comes in. Yeah, now we see him, and rather than run, Clymore's going to try and take the kill onto Mesneric instead, gets the charge onto him, gets a few cleaves off, and the Ignite, another cleave, and that's going to seal the deal. Nearly goes down, but he has the Spirit of Dread to get away, and that's very well played. We jump back to life. Double sexy Sero surviving the all-in from Fizz there. You just saw the fish not really landing. His own ultimate is still up, so that's a big teamfight advantage, and they could use it for the next dragon that's coming up in a few minutes.
This is the second back for the Fizz. The first time he went back in Doran's Ring. Whether he will continue the purchase of Doran's Ring to decimate the lane, or whether he will rush for that Eluding Echo, I think it's going to be slightly questionable. But
meanwhile, we see here in the blue buff just going over to Quad Cannon. I'd imagine that similar moves are about to be made by Subfusk and Sero. Subfusk just clearing out that pink ward. That's a shame. It's a waste of the buff, right? I mean, the way that buff works is obviously that, it goes with any wards.
Yep.
And unfortunately, he does get spotted out by the pink ward, and they don't get the vision control that they might have wanted. But Subfusk is up to his usual ward planting ways. I presume he'll upgrade that gold trinket or pick up a sight stone pretty early. Goes well with the health scaling on the Juggernaut as well. And there's a lot of people coming towards this bot lane. That's simply an error of Clymore does go back though, so nothing's going to kick off here. They are just reversing the lanes, probably in anticipation of the next dragon.
Oriana is going for that blue buff. Fizz came back with a needlessly large rod, so his damage is going to spike in the lane.
It's an interesting adaptation here from Deviri. He's going for the Blade of the Rune King. And I guess, you know, that's anticipating a very big top lane jungle that you can't really cut down otherwise. And also perhaps a bit of defense here. Whoa, and that's all of the flashes going. Deviri so low, takes another one, just about gets the Fate's call off. Meanwhile, the Fish is onto double Sexy Zero. He does get a massive double shockwave or getting someone damage under the tower, but it doesn't go his way. And Subfusk is able to return a kill onto Carniflexin, but he shortly follows with his own life, taken by Masnarek. And that's a 4-for-1 across the map. Kills all over the place.
By Annie. He landed this stun just before the jump away from the Callisto, which allowed the setup for the boomerangs and eventually kill.
And Clymore's just left the lane in the top lane to try and return onto this tower. They do get the mid tower down. Possibly, I don't think they might not get the bot tower. Clymore's got a good chance of getting some damage onto this top turret, but with how quickly Carniflexin is coming back to the lane, I don't think he's going to get it. And Maxi would be better served just trying to deny as much farm as possible.
Carniflex is not going
Carniflex actually abandons it, so that is giving up the tower. But that will be still 2 towers to 1 and the 4 kills, so that's a huge early game win here for Cambridge. Masnarek gets onto Deviri, gets the stun, but he hasn't got a reset for the Blade Surge. Deviri comes straight back in, he's got support, the Dredge line just about lands and he's so low, but the minion auto attacks don't get it. One more and he picks it up with the spear. Deviri gets a kill, and that's now 2 kills for both of the carries.
And Drake is up now, and that was the perfect timing for a pick onto Aurelia. But at the same time, the mid lane Oriana seemed to went down again.
Meanwhile, you know, Hecarim's top without teleport though, so you know they may not be able to take this. I think they're actually going to be forced to trade the dragon for the top lane. And Carniflexin starts to lay down the DPS onto the dragon, but it's not going particularly quickly. Without Oriana there, they can't really properly go in, but they may have a chance to poke them off it instead. Oxford opted to just give that dragon over. That ties it up to a dragon apiece, and that does set back their 5th dragon time by, you know, another 6 minutes.
Yep. It's already an improvement from the last game from the Cambridge side.
And not to forget that the 5th dragon is actually going to be vitally important here. I mean, think about the late game scaling of these 2 comps. Where does the damage come from? From the red team. As the Callista, the Blade of the Rune King build first as well. Only really Oriana on that team provides an enormous late game damage threat. Meanwhile, here in the top lane, Clymore uses the Spirit of Dread onto Masnarek, gets the fear. The Ignite goes down as well. Aurelia's desperately trying to sustain with those ult shots, but it's way too, it's nowhere near enough. And Clymore's ridiculous damage gets him down. And this Hecarim is a very, very big horse.
He's a very big horse. His, especially with his sheen and all the movement speed he has on base, that was just terrifying.
And poor Masnarek, much like last game, Masnarek has already given up 4 kills in just 12 minutes. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like, you know, whether you give in the Aurelia or the Hecarim, Clymore's just going to beat you. Yep, and he's really improved across the series.
Yes. From the first game, even in the first game, his impact was significant. But in the first game, he did give away a couple of solo kills to Masnarek. But since then, he's really picked him, and he hasn't lost the lane since.
Carniflex in here is just going to take his red buff for a bit of extra kiting. That's perhaps an indication that Cambridge are looking to group up and force some team fights quite soon. I don't know how they're going to do it. We'll have to rely on the Gragas engage. Clymore does run into Lustlet here. Takes quite a lot of damage, and quad cannons here. This could be Clymore in serious trouble, but he whiffs on the barrel, trying to blast him backwards into the Fizz and doesn't get it. And thanks to that, Clymore's going to be able to escape safe. Not the ult Lysiak wanted.
It wasn't exactly as planned, but it was very close. He got knocked to the sideway, but unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough.
And ultimately, they do manage to save the pink ward as well, so they're going to retain that vision over there in the top side. Meanwhile, Clymore going right onto Masnarek. He wants more kills. Masnarek forced to run for his life. Subfusk goes back to pick up that pink ward. Just getting that vision control back again. And as I said, Subfusk has been so good in the warding game across this best of 3. Sero's going to try and pick up some farm under his tower. Just about catches it there with the E. I think, no, the Q back to himself. Subfusk here picking up his own red buff. not giving it over to the carries, and that might give Cambridge a slight edge in the team fights. Meanwhile, over here, Gragas and Fizz are pushed up quite aggressively into the jungle. I think perhaps they were going for a blue buff pick. They didn't get it, but they are going to take the consolation prize of the Gromp. They've got to be careful because the bot lane are so close. They haven't got the wards out there.
And they don't realise that
they don't see Subfuss coming in.
They don't realise that there's a ward inside.
Oh, now they've swept it, but they've already got the smited wolves. But they're not going to take it. Instead, Climber is going to take advantage of the focus on the bot side and the fact that his TP is up, whereas Aurelius is not, to try and get some push on the top side. He also needs to sustain on the minions with his W. Whoa, that's a huge double stun. Deviri absolutely melts under the Fizz damage. Icefly forced to throw out the tidal wave and try and run for or swim for her life, maybe. I don't think he's got feet. Quad Cannon hops away. And Quad Cannon already 3-0-0 on this Fizz, 22 CS ahead of his lane opponent. I think Oxford has a problem.
I think they have a problem with Quad Cannon's mobile assassins. So it was with LeBlanc in game 1. Game 2, Syndra, due to the lack of mobility, the impact was not as big as it could have been. Fizz, which is almost as mobile as LeBlanc, I think they could have some problem dealing with it.
I think that Oxford need to start grouping up as quickly as possible. They're only a couple of K behind, only one tower, only a couple of kills. Dragon's tied up. This game is definitely, it's not to the point where they can't fight. But as it's proven, giving Quad Cannon free roam to go across the map and find those picks is just not working out for them at all.
Yep.
Double Sexy Sarah certainly just needs someone to peel for him against this Fizz now, because there's no way he can 1v1. Calista Sentinel is going to be taken away by Akawan. That's a little bit of vision denial, and they're here just trying to get some vision onto the Dragon within 2 minutes, so the wards are still going to be up at the time. Klymore gets caught up by Lustlake. Masnarek's here as well. Klymore is definitely going for the note. He's going for the Spirit of Dread. Doesn't have flash. So without the ult up there, he'd have been a very dead Hecarim. Instead, Quad Cannon comes over here and gets himself another blue buff with the help of Lustlake. There's pings coming out from Nami onto the mid lane turret. Icefly wants some help here. Nami, not the greatest wave clearer in the world, is going to need some help here. Akawan and Carniflexin able to get some good damage, and this reminds me a bit of the last game when Carniflexin is able to get a lot of damage onto these mid towers and really make some good individual rotations.
Yeah. The positioning, because the tier 1 bottom and mid tower are going for Oxford, and it gives so much vision for the Cambridge side just from the minion vision. So they can really abuse that and push multiple lanes.
Red team's turn.
And that's a turret going as well for Quad Cannon up at the top, but they're going to get the Fate's Call onto Camouflex and into the bubble, into the Shockwave. All the wombo goes down, and Akawan can't take it. Masnarek teleports right into the middle of them, and he's going to get Deviri. Deviri somehow hops out. He benefits from a summoner heal, and that's 2-0. That's an incredibly well fought team fight. However, it's not over yet. Quad Cannon comes in from the side and destroys Icefly. He goes for a double kill. Quad Cannon's still alive, and Klymore might go down too. That's a triple kill for the Fizz, and that fight is turned on its head. Double Sexy Sarah on a sliver of health. Subfuss gone very little as well. They're forced to back away for their lives, and that's definitely going to be the mid tower.
That does look like a mid tower.
Quad Cannon with a huge roam, left on slivers of HP, somehow perfectly utilising that playful trickster.
He was originally out of position from the top lane because he was pushing the top lane with Masnarek, who was able to TP in, but because he was able to come in from the side to the squishy backline, he was able to pick up those kills with a great ultimate, and it turned out well for the Cambridge side.
I mean, and the problem is as well, at the point he joined, the flash heal had already been blown by Deviri, escaping from the earlier dive from the Aurelia. Loads of flashes even gone. Klymore goes in 3v1, but against Quad Cannon, he's not going to do very well. Does take Spirits of Dread out, but Quad Cannon's still on the chase, but Klymore actually does get out. He's going straight back in because now he's got support, but they may just content themselves with the Scuttle Crab. The Dragon's up, so things are going to be getting pretty wild around here. The spear goes out towards Quad Cannon but doesn't land. Out goes the Sentinel, spoiling them right out with Scuttle Crab control and all 5 there. Masnarek's all the way down in the bot lane. And yeah, that is a Dragon going over. Lustlake gets stunned, but they don't want him. They need to get the damage on Quad Cannon, who dives right into the middle, gets damage on all of the squishies. The Shockwave goes in, but that's a triple kill for Quad Cannon. He does go down before he can get any more. I had Pentagoggles on, but somehow the kill goes over from Carniflexing onto Klymore as well, and that's 2 team fights that have been completely ruined by Quad Cannon. In the end, a 4-for-1 in favour of Cambridge.
At least the Oxford side, Oriana was able to pick up the Dragon with the QW combined with the Smite from the jungler, but it wasn't a very good fight. The Fizz was able to get in very well, backline was very squishy.
And yeah, this time this will be the mid turret. Of course, they didn't go for it last time because me being a silly Billy had not noticed the dragon was up, and obviously the more valuable objective. Dragon for 4 kills.
Dragon for 4 kills. I think
not worth. And look at the Fizz. You know, he's gone after Luden straight for Zhonya's. No mana regen, no defensive items for me. I want as much AP as I can possibly build on one fish. And Clymore bearing down on Masnarik. I think Masnarik knows how this one ends, but Clymore without the vision is going to have to back away. There's a huge wave in top lane, and Quad Cannon is going to go up there and vaporize it with a playful Trickster. Picking up yet even more farm, and I'd imagine the gold total must be huge. Yeah, he's on nearly 9,000 gold. The largest amount on the blue team is just the 6,500. So he is 2,500 gold ahead of the most fed player on the enemy team. Quad Cannon is destroying this game.
He's an item and a half ahead of the Orianna at the moment. And Orianna has opted for it.
And that's the pause coming out. I'm not sure which team from. Perhaps they just need to nurse their wounds after being wrecked by Quad Cannon in a variety of creative manners. It's the timing as well. Quad Cannon timing his engages so well. He's using the playful trick to get right past the tank line and drop the full weight of the AoE damage onto the squishies. And there is so much AoE damage now. They are dying instantly. You have to think they're going to have to abort their builds and get some magic resist now. Well, that's just going to happen every single fight. How do you peel a Fizz?
I think there was also a problem with the positioning. So the fish hit all 3 backline players. So it hit the support, the Vista, and also the Orianna in the last team fight. And that really can't happen. So the target Quad Cannon goes for, granted they are going to take the best damage, but it can't be split, especially with the Luden's Echo. It cannot be split between squishy backline, or this will be another disaster for Oxford.
I haven't seen Luden's Echo Fizz much before. Do you want to talk us through that pick? Because Luden's is still a relatively new item.
Luden's, because of its burst damage, for Assassins, it essentially just replaces the Deathfire. Although I think it's not as efficient.
Clymore uses the Spirit of Dread into 3, but Carniflexion's there as well. That's the Flash Dredge line from Subverse. They catch out Aka 1, and that's a dead support. But whereas they do manage to get the death, and that's a fantastic Zhonya's to dodge out. But you have to think, and he's able to Trickster away, and Quad Cannon probably survives. It even turns to a 2v1 with Icefly going down in there to Carniflexion. But it's not over yet. Luslet gets called out by the Dredge line, and that ends up being a 2-for-1. Aurelia is spotted out by the ward, however. Clymore's in there, his favourite target, and Masnarik knows what's going to happen here. Subfuss there with the help as well, does get the Ascender Blades out, but Subfuss is there to lock him up with the root on the auto attacks. The Dredge line does come out too, and they're going to give that one over to Clymore, I should think. As soon as the stun rolls up, yeah, there it goes. And that's now a 5-3-3 Hecarim. And that ends up being a 3-for-1.
Yep. And he has his Trinity Force up ready, and he is building to that magic resist. So
they actually didn't have a ward there, the pink ward was placed down.
Yeah, the pink ward was the Kindred, so it was just a intrusion. But they did see the AD carry and the top laner.
Yeah, the two of them went up there, and they've got the 2 wards on the blue buff and the intersection, so they know it has to be probably that bomb bush. So it was a fairly educated guess, but still a good bit of map reading, a good bit of intuition, and they get a kill out of it. Just a really silly recall by Masnarik. I think, to be honest, they'd have been better disposed by trying to stick together. The problem in that whole fight was Carniflexion's positioning was just totally off.
Yes, he was over on the other side of the wall, and he couldn't flash over the wall as there were Oxford players just waiting there to...
The problem is that if Carniflexion blows his flash, then one of Fate's Call, Hecarim, Nautilus is, or indeed Nanami is going to lock him down. There's 4 players on the enemy team who have the ability to end that that squishy Sivir whenever, and he can only spell shield one rotation. So he has to hold on to his flash defensively, at least until he has a quick Silver Sash. And let's just take a quick check in this breather to see how the items are going down. Orianna has gone for the needlessly large, which is going to be a welcome spike in damage, but unfortunately she's even forced onto Mertres. There is a fight going here. They do get the Fate's Call onto Carniflex, and that's so much damage. It's followed instantly by a kill onto Akkord, and the bot lane melt. Quad Cannon, though, comes out of his Zhonya's. He can't do anything, and he goes down as well. That's a 3-for-0. The disengaged barrel comes out from Luslet, desperately trying to save his life, but this opens up the Baron wide open for Oxford, and after losing 2 team fights in a row, they find a couple of instances, Masnarik's not there. They kill Carniflexion instantly, and all of a sudden, this Baron is wide open for them. What are Cambridge doing?
The Annie-Stun and the Fizz Ultimate both missed. The Annie-Stun was only able to hit one person, and the Fizz Ultimate, it was just a, didn't hit anything.
Oh, Luslet looks like he might want to steal here. Whoa, Masnarek goes in, gets a double kill, but they don't get the steal. Climor now. I think this will be party time over with the Hecarim back involved. And yep, looks like desperately trying to peel away, but there's no more ultimate for him. He used it earlier in the fight to survive, and he does fall, giving the Hecarim even more kills.
It was a 2-for-1, but the Baron does go in favour of Oxford.
And vitally, there's no Baron buff on the Orianna. She doesn't benefit from the boosts there.
Yep.
And that's something that we kick the double pink quads. LCS warding, boys. LCS warding.
A little bit of a miscommunication, I think.
And at the end of it all, there's still the 1 health version ward in there anyway, so they still don't have the Baron pit.
And Dragon has come back up.
If we just take a look at the vision, you know, it was just very, very well prepped. Subfusk had planted tons of wards all over that area. They even had a pink ward looking into top river. So, you know, it's totally easy for them. And now they're down here getting a dragon. It's free for them because everyone from Cambridge is up here in the top lane. Climor has got teleport. It's going to... Whoa! And the fish just lands onto Icefly. Just half his health in just the fish. And it just takes a little Q. And that's a very dead... But Quad Cannon might be in trouble here. The Shockwave comes onto Aquan as well. And I think they're just going to take the pick they can get. Well, Subfusk finishing off the dragon as well, so I like the fact that they pulled the teleport early there from Climor, leaving Subfusk to finish that dragon. Climor keeps going, but that's not a good idea. He gets stunned by the equalizing strike. He's gone super low. Quad Cannon goes golden. As soon as he comes up, Climor somehow still alive. Now he dies and the barrel, and that is a 3-for-1 in favour of Cambridge. So after that Baron, they get all the kills they want before they're able to do anything with the Baron. And now it's just Subfusk with the Baron.
And this is all.
And that's all of the Baron Duck players now dead.
Yep.
The Baron buff completely wasted, and that's played so well by Cambridge. They're not going to let a push happen, right?
Quad Cannon was hiding inside a bush to wait for Hecarim to go past, so he can go towards the squish backline. So Orianna wasn't even able to ult in that fight.
And Orianna blows the ult super early, only onto Aquan, and as soon as that ult is down, Carmelex's in. Quad Cannon, no, it's party time. They can go right in, and there's absolutely nothing to stop them. They are going to see if they can get a slow here onto Masnarek, possibly get the exit frag, but they don't get it, and they're able to disengage quite safe. But Climor's teleported in from the back. That's a fantastic anti-stun, but Orianna's still able to get it. He's still going. He's on Aquan. Takes another slow from the face of the mountain, but he's going to keep pushing. Aquan, sorry, the Righteous Glory on the face of the mountain, and the Shockwave completely whiffs. Oh, sexy Zero. And there were so many good Orioles last game. And what's gone wrong this time?
I think just because there is a assassin like Fizz on the way, because I think it's significantly harder to position yourself as Orianna, especially since until just now, Zhonya's wasn't available on Orianna. But I guess now, because of the Zhonya's, Fizz will not necessarily target the Orianna too, as the ultimate mitigated.
I don't know, but I can't call this game right now. You know, 10 minutes ago I would have said Cambridge easily, but they have shown that they do have the ability to deal with Quad Cannon in team fights. They can find the picks, they're using their superior vision well. Masnarek teleports in, all the Transcendent Blades going to Daviri, but Subfusk, whoa, that's a flash Tibbers from Aquan, and that's a very dead Daviri. And, but however, you know, Hecarim comes in, gets the kill, Quad Cannon's forced to blow the Zhonya's, and now Climor's stuck in a 3v1, gets the shield from double sexy Sero, so he wants to go back in. Masnarek's there, Quad Cannon, however, flashes the wall, and the Trickster Sero's able to go golden and just about survive the burst. Gets the shield himself, and that's the barrel saved all this time by Lustlake, and just one more boomerang, and that goes down too, and it's only Icefly left alive. 30-second death timers on Climor and double sexy Sero. Guys, I think we may be staring at GG.
I think that could be again. There's a super minion by the base. I don't see any.
And Quad Cannon easily wraps proceedings up onto Icefly. Subfusk up in 2 seconds, Daviri up in 1. Can they save the Nexus? Subfusk goes right in. He's able to get up a couple, but they're still pounding on the Nexus. Quad
in those prolonged engagements.
Yeah.
Where Slark can really build up some stacks of Essence Shift.
But then conversely, Bristleback can build up stacks of Cool Sprays.
That's true.
And they can't be purged by Dark Pack either, so it's actually quite good. It's actually quite a good counter, I think.
Both teams looking strong so far with a lot of CC, a lot of heroes that can snowball pretty well. And of course some nice heroes with some of the new items of spells coming in with the Centaur as well.
Here we go. They're going to take their time to get this last pick just right.
Weaver!
Yeah, they picked the Weaver.
Okay,
So
that's a fairly mobile hero.
I'm gonna claim points for predicting that.
So looking at these two teams now, do you give anyone an advantage in the early or late game, particularly?
I think in the early game, I don't know. I think they're going to play quite greedy. They're probably going to jungle the Maiden, and then they'll give sustain to the rest of the team. And they might build up stacks with the TA as well, both ancient stacks and jungle stacks with the CM. So I think they'll be quite farm efficient in the early game.
It'll be interesting to see if they do put that Centaur safe lane and let the Weaver go off lane. You can have a good time against the Spirit Breaker compared to a Weaver who might struggle a bit more.
In the mid and late game, the Storm Spirit and the Slark might be a problem because they don't have hard CC.
Yeah, they've got a lot of animations that can get dodged and scouted out by the Slark and the Storm. And of course, there's always that good counter initiation from the Earthshaker and Venge coming in as well, if they do catch someone out.
Here we are. All right.
Right.
Game 1, boys.
Here we go. No technical problems,
we have
please.
The Oxford side here on Radiant, and we have the Cambridge side here on the Dire.
If you want to... So on Cambridge, we've got Bursa playing Slark. He'll be going safe lane with Burge. Probably looking like a defensive tri-lane with Nerf on the Venge. OS going top with them, probably going to rotate to mid afterwards. And off lane is Kingfisher, who's going down, looking like he's going to try and place a ward, and then maybe try and meme a rune out of Oxford.
I mean, I'll be interested. I think they're gonna. Yeah, they might. There is a mango. There it is.
Where's the mangoes?
Holy shit! There you go.
Cambridge, already disappointing. No mangoes at all on their team. That's probably going to give them a lower percentage chance of winning this game, I'm going to say.
Could be a big clash here around the ruin. They're thinking about it. You've got to be careful. Very defensive ward there being placed by Oxford. I think Oxford are at least going to secure the bottom bounty rune.
Yeah. We see Spirit Breaker managing to block the pull camp. It wasn't spotted out by Oxford, so we'll see if they manage to deward that if they want to. Meanwhile, action top rune, it looks like, as Weaver's considering going in and diving for it. Still 12 seconds to go.
Well, they frostbite up the Earthshaker throws down the Fisher.
Earthshaker throws the Fisher just on the CM. A bit of a mistake there.
The Ogre's taking a lot of damage. I think Cambridge is going to get this rune.
Yeah. So clearly the rune prioritised for the Storm Spirit there.
TNU thinks about diving, but then they back off. The Courier's there. Are they going to get the Courier? Oh, they get the Courier!
Huge,
First
huge.
blood on the Courier, boys. Good, nice job there from Oxford. And,
Cambridge is looking a little bit nervous right now. Not really knowing what they're doing.
Not a great start.
Throwing out some spells a bit early in that fight.
Yeah, that's Abab's bottle straight away from that Courier kill. So this is going to be a very difficult lane for the Storm. And the Crystal Maiden is just going to jungle pretty happily away. Yeah, they are doing dual lanes.
That Courier did only die with sentries on it. It didn't have his bottle yet, so there's a possibility that he will be able to get a bottle. Maybe Courier to have someone that supports. Because he will probably be needing it very quickly against this TA.
So we see an aggressive dual lane here on top. And
Ogre's got nicely blocked there by the Fisher, but Earthshaker could be in trouble himself
here. They throw in the stun, they stack the stuns. I think the Ogre's going to be able to walk away.
Yeah.
He does actually pop his mango and throw out another ignite. They take a lot of damage.
Strong mango usage there.
Yeah, very much so. They are going to rust them down.
They're not looking too coordinated on the Cambridge side here. Letting Weaver pretty much do what he wants, trying to focus down the big tanky Ogre.
Meanwhile on mid, we see TA pretty much being Storm Spirit on CM, as you'd expect, I think.
Yeah, I think you definitely expect TA to win this matchup for the first 6 levels and beyond, I'd say. I know that OS particularly hates playing against TAs, just because his heroes tend to be quite farm orientated as well. TA is pretty good at stopping that, both with harass and damage.
TNU getting very aggressive here on the supports.
Yeah. In offlane we see a little bit of trading between Spirit Breaker and Centaur. Probably not much action going to be going on here. maybe a few lucky bashes or a lucky stun will get a kill there. It's definitely top lane that's going to be the interesting one to watch here.
I mean, the Centaur is dropping a bit low here. Maybe the Spirit Breaker lands up against the Centaur and we see a first blood come out that way. The Venge is going to rotate together, but this lack of courier is going to really hurt the Storm Spirit as well.
It really is, yeah.
This bottle's sitting in base, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they're going to secure bottom ruin here.
He's doing what he can to keep up with farm, but he's going to start suffering now in the next couple of minutes as he waits for his bottle to come out.
Pretty. Oh.
Slark already burning through all his regen.
You see first blood going on the Centaur. Oh, he charged.
A lovely little bash there. South cancelled.
Oh, that was a close one.
Great play by Kingfisher there to get away from that.
Just about
looking dead.
They trade pretty much evenly there. They're both really low. I'm not really
yeah,
sure
both burning through most of their regen. Kingfisher still with a few tangos.
Nice play there, actually.
Looks like Crystal Maiden's coming in with a sentry ward, looking to deal with this pull, or maybe find a ward protecting the Spirit Breaker in his offlane. Meanwhile, in top lane, Slark's used all of his regen at level 3, so he's going to be having some trouble here against Weaver.
It's a hard lane. All he's got is Star Shield. It's pretty difficult, actually. He's taking a lot of magic.
Not a lot Venge can do here to harass them out of lane.
Not really. Not at all. And Abab getting pretty aggressive here on mid as well. Diving a bit under the tower.
Earthshaker has picked up some sentries now, so they might be looking for a kill on this Weaver.
They ping them out. They know the supports are there. They drop a sentry.
Sentry's down.
They're
going for it. That's a nice pounce.
Oh, I think this is going to be fun.
They get the stun as well. That's going to be it. Yep. Weaver goes down for first blood. Split between the heroes.
Kill on the bench, so
yeah, return kill for the Ogre.
Meanwhile they get the Sentinel. There's going to be a kill here on the bottom. Boom, there he goes.
He's looking for the charge, but he can't get it.
So, Oxford pulling a little bit ahead there in the next stage.
Yeah. What do you think of the Spirit Breaker build? Do you prefer to build the charge or the bash first?
I think you max bash first because you need the damage. I think to be able to charge people down. There's no damage. There's no damage at all on charge if you max that first.
Definitely.
So you need to be able to first people down, or you're just not going to be able to do anything. Basically.
It looks like Spirit Breaker's asked for some help here from the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice actually, because they
can't. Not really doing much in top lane anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can accomplish.
Centaur has got his tranquils up now though, so he will be a lot harder to harass.
Meanwhile, getting aggressive here on the Spirit Breaker on bottom lane. This laning stage I think is really working out very well for the Radiant.
Yeah, I definitely think they're pulling ahead. They're getting their objectives done, they're getting the farm on the TA and the Weaver that they want.
The Slark has 4 CS.
Slark's having a really sad time in lane.
Exactly. And they'll probably get stacks up as well for none. And the Maiden is going to rotate here at the bottom.
Yeah, this is all with the Maiden and jungle as well.
Oh, they get the kill on the Centaur there. Couldn't TP away in time.
Yeah, the DD damage. DD giving them enough damage there to go on the...
Oh, Abab here in trouble.
Oh, it's a nice come in from the Earthshaker.
Nice dodge. Can you grab this? Or instant pops the trap. I think she's just going to walk away.
Yeah.
Easy.
There's no Fissure on the Earthshaker. I think she does just get away here.
Bound, but he's not going to get there in time.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do here.
And the Space Cow is going to go roam now after that
kill. Slark picking up a Quelling Blade to help him with this last hitting against the Weaver. He's already got his Aquila.
They're going to try and pick off this Weaver.
Spirit Breaker charging through mid to top.
They're
going to see him going for it.
They're going to see him going through mid. They
might even get stunned under tower, yeah.
What are they doing? Oh. That's a big mistake.
Questionable plays. I think Kingfisher just feeds here.
Oh, they will be able to disengage. Just
the natural tank on this Spirit Breaker is huge.
Tanky. If they'd stunned him on the tower, I think he would have been dead. But that was a very risky play for the Spirit Breaker.
He's even tankier at level 5 than the Centaur is. Obviously one of the highest strength gains in the game, although he has got a bit of a low start.
Or they I think he's got to be careful.
Burning through those refraction charges. Storm Spirit's looking for this kill. It would be a big kill in lane.
Yeah, they couldn't get him there. He had meld and refraction. He was fine. He is going to go treads on the TA now. So I think he's going to move into a Desolator perhaps.
Crystal Maiden's now got her boots up and she's looking to go a little bit more aggressive possibly as she hits level 5.
I think he's going to place a safe ward against Spirit Breaker to dodge any charges.
What do you think? Is Crystal Maiden going to try and build a Midas, do you think? Or
Non usually does build Midas, but it'd be hard to tell. I'm not sure, to be honest.
To be honest, he could if he wanted to, but I think it'd be more beneficial if they just push their advantage in this early game. They're getting everything done. They can really force this Slark and the Storm Spirit out of play.
It could be a fast earn instead of a minus. Like, there's so many other things you can do as well.
Weaver just thinking about going top there, warded away by the Earthshaker TP.
Gonna get quite aggressive, I think. Getting a bit of feedback.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the sound thing. And we are going to see the Ogre rotate to the mid to try and get a little bit of extra.
Okay. Okay. People might get closer.
Just go to that one. Okay, that's what the And during those technical difficulties, the Weaver is going to go down on top.
Yeah, we missed the most important kill of the early game so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big kill for Radiant.
Yeah, that is. That gives the Slark a bit more recovery farm.
That was the Slark that got that kill as well. He's up to his treads now if he wants them. Bot lane, Spirit Breaker and...
Going pretty ham.
Yeah, Centaur's going for a little bit of chip damage there. He knows that he can afford it with his Tranquil Boots.
Is he going to go for it? No, he's going to back off. I don't know how big Alec was going to go, but not that big is the right answer.
Crystal Maiden just securing this top rune for her TA. The DD could be potentially another kill, either mid or top for TA now.
I think they do a smoke, they could probably get an easy kill on all the supports on top with this DD.
I think you're right.
Do they have an
especially
ancient
with
stack?
Slark is only level... Oh, he's just hit level 6.
Abab's probably just going to do his ancient stack, to be honest. Or with his DD, or maybe not actually. Maybe they'll stack it
some
one
nice
more
stacking happening.
Yeah. This is what I mean. They win the laning stage. They not only win the laning stage without even one of their supports, they also manage to get a load of stacks off. So Abab will be so rich.
Cambridge have a couple of medium stacks in the jungle. Oxford have an ancient and a hard and a medium, so it's a little bit of an advantage there for Oxford. Especially as their heroes can clear those stacks a lot quicker than the Cambridge ones.
The Ogre Magi now does get level 6.
That could be a big turning point. He can really shut down some of those supports with his, burst.
He's getting very aggressive.
Sentry has been dropped by Bench. It's a little bit away from the lane. It's not going to pick up much action.
They are stacking the Ancients one more time, so I think Abab will look to farm that probably imminently with his DD. Get a lot of money that way. And that'll probably be nonce level 6 as well. Yeah, he's gonna move into the Ancient stack now and just get far from that. Still a bit of feedback here.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Don't know what to do. Centaur getting quite close to his blink now. Probably about 700 gold away from his blink. So then he'll start to rotate out the safe lane then. And they'll start to take a lot of big saves. The Storm Spirit
stealing some stats in the jungle now.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't like the safe lane. He's letting Earthshaker get a bit of farm towards his blink as well.
Meanwhile, Abab feeling very far ahead on
the Centaur is in trouble with his stampede.
He runs. He's got TPs. They're going to try and disengage now.
Definitely a disengage there. Storm may be in trouble here as well. Ignite hits him.
They zip away.
Earthshake has TP'd in. Possibly a counter engage. Looking to possibly regoose, but no, nothing comes of it.
Nothing happens there.
A lot of TPs forced though. Not really much lost in terms of cooldown. Stampede obviously not too long.
They're going very aggressive here on the bench. Oh, this is easy bench, I think.
Yeah, Bench loses her life there. Weaver, nice time lapse there to get back to full health on the tower.
I think the Slark's dead now as well.
Slark's in trouble. Chooses the Dark Pact, which can obviously burn their refractory charges, but such a low HP base anyway.
Weaver's got to get out of there. He takes so much damage. Oh, he gets out.
There's the Sentry Ward there. They are fighting just beyond the Sentry Ward range right now.
Oh, he gets phased so many times. It's so unfortunate. The Earthshaker's coming out the back.
Huge amount of invis used here. He is spotted out by the wards there.
They need to disengage. Can they burst down the Weaver?
Looking to catch this Weaver. Oh, there's a nice space capture. The Fisher blocks him out. Excellent.
He finally gets it off.
Yeah, excellent hold there. The Earthshaker will probably return to the TA. I think she cleans up here. I don't think either of these dire heroes are getting away. Slark comes in though. Huge counter engage by Slark.
Oh,
the refraction charges keep her up. Magic stick as well. Storm falls. Slark picks up the TA kill in return. That's a pretty big kill for Slark there. Nice streak gold. Oh, it's on the Spirit Breaker.
Abab going absolutely ham there.
Yeah.
I think this Ogre might be dead.
showing just how dangerous those early levels in refraction can be.
He's taking a lot of damage.
Ogre here in trouble now.
Down he goes. Down he goes.
Slark looking to catch up a bit on his net worth.
Yeah.
Falling well behind.
Nearly caught up with the Weaver actually, considering his poor start. It's actually not too bad.
TA pulling well ahead of everyone though, almost double the net worth of the next Dire player.
Well, she has a lot of kills. She has 3 kills and all those ancient stacks. Like you'd expect the TA to be far ahead. And she is going to go Desolator now to try and burst down those supports and try and take towers really quickly. See the Stormbringer trying to catch up. He's quite far away from his ult. Yeah. The Venge I think is going to go Dying of Courage. So trying to get a bit more tankiness there. The Venge still doesn't have a level 6. But I think he had the
That's
Centaur
a blink
has
used on the
now.
Centaur. He's revealed.
Yeah, so I think you should go gank with that now. You should leave lane and go start messing stuff up.
Yeah.
12-minute blink timing.
The TA with the Stampede and a blink Centaur can be enough to kill almost every support on the map if they get it right.
That'll be easy kills all over the map. Oh, he baited the stuff there from Space Car. Alex playing with his mind. And the bench does actually have level 6 now. Drops a nice little ward there. Not much action happening here. Hero's looking to farm up after the not great laning stage.
Yeah.
Now Abab is gonna look to crush the towers here. There's gonna be a rotation here from bench. It's just not gonna do much. Really.
Okay, already closing in on that Desolator that you talked about earlier.
There you go, and there it is. I think they can take this tower pretty easily. If they go on the bench in the tower position here, she's just gonna die.
Spirit Breaker. Oh, the bashes are real. Spirit Breaker takes down the Centaur with some nice RNG.
They're gonna be able to turn this around though. Oh, maybe not actually. Somebody cancels their CT.
Ogre looking for another and another.
Come on, can he do it?
That's the double cast.
Meanwhile, TA just going ham on the Stormspirit.
Stormspirit looking very sad here against his TA. Nothing he can do.
So much damage, and she gets a double kill there.
He does buy out before he dies though, so he doesn't lose too much in terms of farm there.
They do get a kill on the Crystal Main, so it's not all bad. But
obviously with the new patch changes, that will be worth almost nothing to them.
yeah, that's true, because she's not far up on the net worth.
She is number 5 in the top chart, as you'd expect.
Easy tower last hit. Abab actually farming out of his mind. 7k net worth at 14 minutes.
Yeah, huge farm on Abab here.
I think they're going to look to group up and push now, actually. This Weaver's going to be going Lincoln Sphere. He's actually taken a couple of points in stats over Shikuchi. He's going to go.
Essentially his choice. He clearly wants to tank out a bit more and avoid that burst damage from the Earthshake Avenge combo.
I think they're going to try and go on the Slark here. I don't know if the Slark knows. We don't have a ward.
Slark's feeling safe. He's got his ult up, but the Centaur blink could be enough to kill him.
There was a ward here. Oh, they're going.
Yeah, the Avenge getting picked up in the background as well.
Oh, they can't get him. The Storm can't
Not
initiate.
quite enough, but Storm is going to
come out.
just about survive
Weaver's
that.
going to get burst down.
Oh, huge.
Abab's on the tower. He actually
amount of CC
explodes
here.
to a meld strike. The TA has a haster in there.
Spirit Breaker looking for a bash.
Oh, Abab with a
TA
triple
murdering
kill.
everyone. Oh, the
CM
CM ult coming out. Huge damage
Down
there.
he goes, an ultra
That's a
kill.
wipe on the Cambridge team underneath their T1 tower there.
What a disaster. Level 14 TA.
Yeah, Venge just getting two-shotted there just outside the fight at the beginning.
Earthshake exploded to a meld strike, showing the real power of a TA if you stack her these days. She's a real monster actually.
Yeah. And Ogre is now about to hit level 10, so we will start seeing the Bloodlust coming out on TA as well, which will only make things worse for Cambridge.
They're even going to steal the stacks. I've picked out the stacks. So that's going to be even more fun. Easy fun. These fights going incredibly well for Oxford. They're really pressing their farm advantage.
Ogre building into probably one of the new items, Guardian Greaves. Interesting item. Best thing about it is the bonus armor passive, I think.
I think the best thing about it is the strong dispel. Like if they get silenced or like minus armor debuffs, they can instantly apply to it's really strong.
That's
skill.
also true. Very strong item overall, obviously quite expensive still.
Yeah, definitely.
He is working towards his mech with his arcanes already up.
Is it a 2k gold recipe? I can't remember.
1600, yeah.
Yeah, it's really expensive. But it does do a lot. It's
Yeah.
actually a very tanky Weaver going stats instead of Gemini.
Yeah, it's a very tanky team overall.
Yeah, difficult to burst down.
Crystal Maiden picking up the Bracer and the Ogre Club.
can't burst her down. She's going straight BKB.
She's actually got more health than the Earthshaker now, despite being only 1 level up.
That's a sad Earthshaker there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to look for I think they get Alec gets 1 good blink, and that's going to be it, I think.
Oxford just looking to maintain the momentum, take objectives, take picks if they see them.
They're going to give away that tower, I think. I think they can probably go Roche now. Or they might look to push. They might look to push out of the way. But this will be an easy Roche here.
Do have the option for an extremely quick Roche here with the TA.
They know. It's really risky.
Cambridge know they want to do something about it, but they're not sure. They don't want to commit just yet.
I mean, they have to go really soon.
They've got the sentry down. They know that the Oxford team have vision of them where they are now.
TNU's trying to create the space. They do get him on the wrong side.
The Ravage is still there.
Are they going to try and steal? Oh, how about picks it up? Oh, Alec gets him on top of the cliff.
Oh,
get burst down.
Storm in the wrong place there.
Oh, the
and now Space Cow trapped on the cliff as well. This is a disaster.
That's going to push Alec off the cliff.
He knocks the Centaur off the cliff.
The CMO is absolutely doing work.
Venge swaps the Spirit Breaker out. Everyone's on the cliff.
Oh, that CMO doing some work.
It's a cliff party.
Cliff party for everyone involved.
Centaur happy to give his life there for 2 kills on pretty...
That's going to be a mech now,
and an
Magi
Aegis
pretty much
for
done.
Oxford.
He gets 1 more last hit, and he has a mechanism on your 4th position Ogre Magi.
Yeah. Things not looking good at all for Cambridge here.
Yeah. 18-minute mech on a support is bad news.
Slark looking towards getting a Shadow Blade now. He's got his Shadow Amulet up already. He's farming stacks in the jungle. Oxford are just taking towers like a machine, burning through all these towers.
What the hell is that Storm doing? That's so risky.
Storm looking to maybe bait a reaction here. With the Earthshaker behind him.
They just take the towers. I think they can take bottom tower now as well. The wave is already pushed in.
Good discipline there from Oxford not to jump on that Storm when they could see that Earthshaker was missing off the map.
There's 2 heroes there. I think they can burst this tower down. Earthshaker does not have a blink. He's actually quite close. He's like 700 gold away. But yeah, they're going to stall out that push, but this tower is not long for the world. They're going to try and push it in. Another stall Fisher there. I think it's a bit of a waste of it now. You need the Fisher during the fight to counter engage. Just delaying the creep. Delaying the creep wave is some work.
I think that the feeling they have, I guess, is that they're not really going to be taking fights without Slark there anyway, unless they get gone on. And he's got Soul Ring anyway, so it's not a huge amount of... well, now it is, but it wasn't a huge amount of mana cost.
Yeah. And they're probably going to rotate top now, I think, as well. They do manage to get a Shadow Blade on the Slark, but is it going to do a lot at this point? And they may be able to get 1 kill out of it, but I don't think it's going to snowball.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that he's going to get any solo pickoffs with the Radiant team just looking to stay together and take these towers. Weaver already very close to his Lincoln Sphere, only looking for the recipe now. That will obviously help a lot against the Venge and against the Spirit Breaker.
To go high ground now. Oh, that Storm makes a bit of a mistake there, takes a lot of damage. This tower takes a bit of a beating actually. Down to 3/4 HP already. Absolutely melted.
They do still have the Aegis on the TA for another few minutes. They've got two more minutes.
Oh, they've lobbed the TA. Space Cow goes in.
Do pop the Aegis. Weaver gets his time lapse off.
Weaver gets time lapse. Central goes in. Echo Slam is huge. Crystal made an ulti.
Huge CMO.
Oh, they buy back. They buy back on Earthshaker, but everyone's dead. The CM might go down, but then what? They mass buyback, but I think they're still going to get this tower. Maybe even Rax, to be honest.
Yeah, they just can't defend with the items that they've got right now against this TA. Far too scary.
This Rax is melted. This Rax is not long for nothing they can do, I think. Maybe they die for the Rax.
And the cooldowns on Radiant really not very long at all. They're going to be looking to go straight into another tower push or even another Rax push
Oh,
apart.
that Earthshaker almost died. There he goes.
Earthshaker not choosing life.
Enough to bring that Earthshaker.
He's now lost 1,000 gold on his progress towards his blink. He's not going to be getting that anytime soon.
I mean, this game is over, to be honest.
It would take a miracle for Dart to come back into this.
Full
3-2-2.
Even the Slark can't take down anybody pretty much.
If they were to have a chance. Slark in the jungle now, looking for a pick on a solo hero. All he's going to find is a Centaur.
I mean, they can't, who do you go on? can't kill Batman.
At this point, even the Crystal Maiden's probably too tanky to burst down quickly enough.
They'll just blow you up.
Especially with the Stampede available.
Nice bands.
The little bit of BM coming out here.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, the damage is real. Oh, the slot goes on the TA, but actually misses the pound of the TA. He's just going to time that. The storm goes in. They haven't got enough damage.
There's the Stampede.
Stampede is
Radiant look to re-engage.
TA is godlike, but she's going
Storm's in trouble.
She has the BKB. She's going big. I don't think they can do anything. Oh, Earthshaker almost dying, but they will get the towers and possibly the
Only one kill there for Oxford, but obviously they don't really care about that. They're just going to take the attracts and probably the base as well.
Objectives is all that matters. The slot pops the Embers, but they do have a Shadow Blade, so you have to be careful. This is really risky.
Yeah, they do have a sentry down.
Where is the slot? The slot's coming up from behind. They call good
There's
game.
the GG. 22-minute GG there.
22-minute GG from Oxford there.
Oxford really showing what they can do.
There we have it. Game 1.
Yeah, clearly some targeted bans there from Cambridge. Oxford just thought, we don't care, we're going to do what we want. We're going to go aggressive in lane anyway and just push our momentum the whole time.
Impressive display of skill there. 760 GPM.
760 GPM on that TA.
Too easy. Alright, I think
Sad Storm Spirit with 261.
I think we'll move into game 2 here.
Yeah. No time for Cambridge to lick their wounds. We're going to press on. Looks like we do have time to have another game, I think.
Oh, that feedback.
Hello, Beep.
If I move towards, it doesn't change the thing. I check my phone. Oh, what is the feedback? Bring up score screen more in game, please. Okay, Damien, I will do that. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'll be sure to play Alex more. You're on the wrong side. TNU, you're on the wrong side, dude. Not that he can hear me.
That game really proving that rubber band mechanics don't mean anything if you can't take a single fight.
The rubber band has been nerfed pretty significantly, actually. I think, like, it's really not that strong anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a case that one fight will suddenly give your core player all the items he wants.
Yeah. Right, we ready? Are we ready for game 2? Woo! Let's go. All right. I think they're not going to ban Undying, and TNU is going to pick Undying. I called it. And they might ban Crystal Maiden, though, and then the strategy falls apart completely. The Crystal Maiden is the linchpin of the strategy.
I'm betting a whole manga that they do ban Undying.
Yeah. But TNU explained to me that the Crystal Maiden is the linchpin because it allows them all to like be independent as cores and like farm self-sustainably.
That mana aura is so huge in the early game for heroes that can use it.
So the Radiant has first pick now. So if the Radiant first picks Crystal Maiden, TNU strategy, he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't have a fallback support. So I think he'll really struggle if they do that. And I don't think they should ban the Abaddon, actually.
I don't think Crystal Maiden's a pick I've seen Nerf or Burge play. Although Burge does like to farm a bit more on his support, so it's possible they will go jungle CM.
So I think if they leave it in the pool, they'll pick Crystal Maiden again. Because it really holds their whole strategy together.
Really nice drafting there from Oxford last game, saving their hand until the last two picks, really being able to dominate that storm in lane with TA. Made a huge, probably won them the game.
Definitely. I think they'll struggle. I think they don't really know what to ban. I think if they ban TA, like they'll pick Shadow Fiend and like, which is another one of Abab's strong heroes.
Obviously,
like,
Shadow Fiend's a lot stronger on the Radiant side than the Dire with the jungle stacks that you can pull off.
They banned the Space Cow, so they thought.
Oh, they don't ban the Undying. I owe you a mango.
There you go. No Undying ban today.
Afraid of the Centaur, even though he didn't go for the Ags there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it didn't get there. Like, you can't farm an Ags.
Didn't even need one there.
Can't farm an Ags in 22 minutes.
Didn't get to see the obscene power of that 70% damage reduction.
Indeed. Here we go. First pick. Oh, what is that?
Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut. What is this? 683?
Straight in with the Juggernaut.
There we go.
Now that could be a safe lane Jug, or it could be a jungle Jug, because although Jug has been nerfed a bit, his farming is still very quick, and he can jungle still, I think.
I don't think they'll go jungle. I think that's pretty vulnerable to be shut down. Like, imagine if they get shut down, then they play like 3v5.
They could be very sad, but then they did just get shut down in the last game, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
this
see.
could be a very easily punished pick now with an instant
There you go.
silence.
There's the
On.
Crystal Maiden and the Undying.
Very strong
Yeah, there you go.
already.
So-
Looking like a scary lane for someone on the Radiant side.
So they'll probably pick up one. The Undying will be a 4-position support. So Tianya will probably pick up somebody like Bristleback, or maybe, and then they'll do a duel off. They'll do a duel off lane again to put pressure on the safe lane. And like, there's nothing you can really do. Like you take so much damage from Strength Sap, and Undying has like self-mana sustain.
Juggernaut definitely not going to have a good time if he goes up against that dual lane.
You will basically die.
His spin will not get him away from the what are they called, zombies.
Yeah, yeah.
And he'll have a hard time bursting down that tombstone with the CM around.
This will be a difficult lane for the Juggernaut. Yeah.
Not a great lane support there. Aged Apparition quite weak in lane without ranged heroes to take advantage of Chilling Touch.
Exactly. Strong with something like Weaver, but they don't have Weaver. We'll have to see what they do.
Be interesting to see what their plan is here. They've clearly got something in mind as they're drafting.
Yeah, definitely.
They do ban that Shadow Fiend again, so we could be seeing another TA. Though obviously the Ancient Apparition is much better at removing those refraction stacks than the supports were in the last game.
I mean, the TA is tempting for TNU probably. I mean, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. And like,
Exactly.
that obviously is a strong strat. So I think they'll look to do it again if they don't ban out TA. I would imagine. Or they might pick another. Abab plays a number of farming heroes. Maybe they'll pick Storm Spirit instead. It'll still work just the same. The strategy is
10
the same.
seconds remaining.
They pick up a Razor. That's interesting.
And they ban the Razor, so they
Ban the
clearly
Razor,
don't want to have another hard lane from a solo laner, like a Viper or a Razor. Although they have left themselves open to that Viper pick, which, again, Juggernaut's not great against.
Yeah,
He can be easily shut down by a Viper.
I think he picks Bristleback. I think Oxford picks Bristleback, and then they have another hard dual lane. We'll see. Though.
Dire team
Pretty meta bans coming out with the Lion, Lina.
There you go. The Storm
There's
Spirit
the
coming
Storm. Excellent pick against a Radiant team that currently have no stuns, considering the Juggernaut mini stun has been removed. Literally 0 CC right now.
out. I think it's still in the game actually. It still counts as TPs. It's a bit bugged.
Yeah, I've seen the Reddit posts.
Yeah. Shout out to Reddit
Yeah,
for being what it is.
dead game.
Here we are. I don't really know what Cambridge is going to pick. I have an in-depth knowledge of what Oxford is probably going to pick.
10 seconds remaining.
I honestly don't know. Maybe they try and get a bit of lockdown now.
5 seconds remaining.
Or they're going to have a bad time.
This Cambridge team played together a lot in pubs, but they haven't really played many competition games together, so they don't have a drafting strategy that they know that they want to play.
Yeah.
They tend to just ad hoc it a bit more, think about it the night before type of thing.
Interesting anecdote. Our Oxford B team actually beat our Oxford A team.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we managed to undo TNU's drafting strategy and just outskill them.
Oh,
that's
getting
feedback.
some
it's
pretty
another-
bad feedback.
Which one's them?
I have no idea. It's all just
10
switches
seconds
and knobs.
remaining.
Go for that one. Okay, let's try. I turned it down a bit.
5 seconds remaining.
There we go. Okay, hopefully that's a bit better.
Okay, Twitch chat, let us know if that's
There's
too
the
quiet.
Bristleback. Oh,
Okay, this is looking like a very scary draft now from Oxford,
you can call me the Oracle.
especially with only one very long cooldown stun on the Radiant team still.
And 2 melee heroes as well. I mean, you kind of
Obviously,
need range heroes.
the AA is a nice pick now in terms of those longer team fights where Undying and Bristleback will want to be regenning during the fight. He will be able to stop that, but they have to reach those fights first. And that could be a big issue against this lane. Huge amount of
10 seconds
potential
remaining.
from the CM aura for the Undying, Storm and Bristle. All of those heroes excellent at using that extra mana regen.
An interesting tidbit that you may not know is that Soul Rip, which is the heal on Undying, actually heals through AA,
Reserve time.
the AA debuff.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting counter for
Actually,
people who are about
one
to
of the
die.
very few things in the game that does.
It's literally just that and Sunder, and those are the only things that can raise your HP.
Crazy.
so
Did
we've
they
actually-
learned? Someone make a Reddit post.
Yeah, there you go. But that used to be in the game anyway. I don't know if they removed it, but it was certainly that way a couple months ago. Tidehunter. Maybe they pick Venge again.
Twitch chat suggesting an Alk pick, which
They're going to farm some
I really
Ags,
don't
are
think
they?
is strong in this patch. A lot of people have been running it, but
If they pick Alk,
if they pick Alk, I think they probably lose
they
all their
might-
lanes
yeah,
automatically.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing that people forget about the Alk is, yeah, the Aghanims thing is strong, but at the end of the day, you still have to pick Alk,
Yeah.
who's fundamentally a pretty poor hero. maybe the way to play him is to not like. A lot of people in pubs are just like straight rushing Ags, and that's like terrible. I think you go 6 slotted, then start buying Ags for your supports. I think that's a much better way to do it.
I definitely agree with that. Definitely don't want to just AFK farm Ags. It's not going to help your team having an extra 4,000 gold each if you're losing all your towers.
Exactly.
Disruptor.
Okay, Disruptor pick there. Excellent pick against the Bristleback. He finds it hard, and the Storm Spirit actually. They both find it hard to deal with that long glimpse.
This will be interesting. The trouble is though, he doesn't do a lot in lane. Like if you're being aggressive as Disruptor, he's really strong. But if you're being defensive, you can't really.
Very low impact laning supports right now. It'll be interesting to see what they pick for their mid hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Wonder if it'll be more of a ganking hero or if it'll just be another farming hero like an Invoker.
Yeah, I was thinking that Cambridge might pick Invoker actually.
It is one of OS's signature heroes.
Yeah.
He does like to run it. He has been known to have a few sad games on Invoker as well, though, when he does get shut down by something like a TA.
Yeah. No TA this game, unless they really meant to.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think they need to pick another self-sustaining. So as I say, like they like to run this 2-1-1 strategy with the main in the jungle and the aggressive dual lane. So they need another self-sustaining solo safe lane hero.
Something like a Viper or a...
Yeah. Or the Centaur's banned, but something like that. I don't know what that might be.
Ban out the Magnus.
Do you ban out Mag?
That's a good ban. Magnus is quite strong throughout this patch and the last one, I think, in terms of shutting down and just turning around. When you're really far behind, you can really turn around just one big team fight. Obviously not as huge with the new rubber band being nerfed, but still quite a big deal.
What is the last pick going to be? Come on, TNU, don't disappoint me. If I had to guess...
Radiant do have 3 very strong Axe heroes. Could be the Alk pick. Farming mid Alk.
Radiant? I don't know about
that. Just to throw him. Oh, that's a pick we haven't seen for a while.
It's really strong now.
That's a really strong pick with this lineup, especially. There's so many people they have to burst down now.
I think it's one of the few heroes you can go first item Octarine as well, and then like the lifesteal is insane. Yeah. And then it brings her ulti down from 145 to 109.
Definitely, it gives her that extra bit of strength as well, so she can survive more in fights, as well as that lifesteal.
400 HP and lifesteal is not a joke. It's a strong item certainly, and like she doesn't. If you buy the Mystic Staff, she doesn't need regen that badly.
It will now all be down to how much of an impact Cambridge supports can have. If they can survive the laning phase, then they have potential to do stuff in the late game. But I think mid game and early game is where they're really going to find it hard.
So I think they probably will try and pick Invoker or something.
10 seconds remaining.
As the last pick. I didn't see that Death Prophet coming at all.
Zeus.
They pick a Zeus.
A Zeus pick.
Zeus
pick.
Here we are. We'll do that at the end.
Yeah. So Zeus there, he's obviously going to be really vulnerable to just getting beaten up by the Storm Spirit. Quite vulnerable to being jumped on if he can't get his spells off in time.
Might be a hard lane for the Storm Spirit.
Yeah,
there's a lot of damage in
it will definitely be hard early on when Storm Spirit wants to get close into the creeps, and Zeus will be there just hurting him all the time, every time.
There is the global AA strat. If somebody's like half HP in lane, they throw out an AA Ice Orb and then follow
definitely.
Up with a Zeus ult and
they need a Spectre pick is what they need.
Yeah.
That early Juggernaut pick really sort of showed their hand, I think, and just let Oxford do what they wanted with the draft.
If they picked a Spectre, though, they would lose the lane.
If they pick a Spectre, they're very sad indeed.
I think that works out well for them at all.
5 seconds remaining.
It'd be interesting here to see if Zeus can get the early game he really wants, because he can have a huge impact. He's great at fighting in team fights with items in the mid game, but he has to get there.
Yeah, certainly. We have the Cambridge Radiant.
Yep, so...
No cheers. Nobody likes Cambridge. And we have Oxford Dire. Yeah.
Single cheer.
Much better.
It looks like Radiant are going for a jungle invasion at level 1 here. They've got everyone going top. Their OS is going to be going mid on Zeus probably, with a Bursa playing a core position Juggernaut. Kingfisher will be off-laning on the Tide Hunter. And obviously Burge and Nerf will be playing the supports, Disruptor and AA.
They do have very good first blood. If they can,
their level 1 is strong.
They have to get somebody stunned. If they can stun somebody,
kill them. A
Well,
lot of their first blood potential, but depends on them getting spells that really demand them getting that first blood. Tide would have to get maybe a Gush. AA would want to get Chilling Touch
He already has
instead of...
Chilling Touch. Oh, this could be big.
Okay, they're going for the wraparound here. CM looking very delicate here, just below the high ground vision here.
Uh-oh.
And she has been spotted. She's been pinged out.
Back. They have to
They're
back.
all running back for the tower.
This is the trouble.
Can they be caught? Disruptor has the glimpse. There's the Storm Spirit getting caught.
He's going to roll the other way, though. Oh, he's
And that's probably going to be a dead Storm
He is
Spirit.
dead. First blood. There he goes.
Good level 1 play there by the Radiant team.
That was a nice.
Not sure it'll be enough to see them through this early game, but it definitely helps them out a bit.
That was a nice play to take advantage of their really strong, like, 5-man hero with all the Chilling Touch.
Definitely.
So they claim their 3 goals as they deserve it.
Yeah. They do have those 2 ranged heroes that can take advantage of the Chilling Touch and the Glimpse, which does help a lot getting all those Chilling Touches onto that hero.
Indeed.
Really touch them up with that.
This is going to be a free lane for Zeus for a bit now, I think. And we're going to have a CM middle for a while.
Juggernaut struggling to get to bot lane here. He's going to miss out on probably most of this wave.
Oh, the Zeus got the first blood actually, so it's going to be a bit of a change of events this time, where the Zeus has the level 1 bottle. It's going to be an incredibly
Yeah, it'll be
play
interesting.
for the Storm Spirit to CS.
Zeus already Zeus already hitting level 2 actually.
He's
Storm
got the
Spirit with only one
free.
creep.
So yeah.
So Tide's chosen to start with a Stout Shield here, going for a Gush instead of the Anchor Smash, obviously against this range here. Meanwhile, bot lane, Bristleback falls.
Yeah, it's getting a bit too aggressive there, and underestimating the damage.
The Chilling Touch there really does hurt the Bristleback even through his passive, which he hasn't actually got yet, so he's still quite squishy.
I don't think they'll make the mistakes again.
Having said that, the Undying is taking strength from all of these heroes. 300 on all of them for their max health right now.
Yeah,
Undying sitting pretty with 1,000.
1,000 HP.
Crystal Maiden is going to be jungling again for the majority of the early game, I expect, with the nice little Arcane Aura helping out her team.
Well, a bit of a clash on mid. Both heroes going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah. Storm taking a fair bit of harass, but giving back as much in return.
Yeah,
Tide possibly in trouble here as CM comes
I
towards
think
the
the
top
Crystal,
lane.
he does have a ward though, so I mean, unless he literally isn't one man, then he'll be fine.
The ward will scout out the CM.
She's just going to jungle.
This is quite a hard lane, I think, for Tide, given the amount of nuke that can be pulled out.
But they know there's a ward there. The True Sight will scout that out as well.
Zeus picking up a regen rune, that's perfect for him right now.
He buys a salve.
Oh, he doesn't actually get the Observer ward. Storm comes in to zone him out before he can finish it.
Indeed. Abab chooses to buy a salve.
Silly Zeus not eating the Observer ward with his Tango.
Ah, yeah, forgot about that.
They are delicious.
They are indeed delicious.
Tide is definitely feeling nervous in this top lane, I think. He sees the CM there waiting to go on him, and the amount of nuke coming up is pretty real as well.
Will no one realise there's a ward there? Yes, he will.
Get some game stats up.
Gonna have some game, I feel like game stats. There we go. There's actually going to be a fight on they glimpse back and they get away.
That's a nice disengage, but I think it might not be enough. This Undying can definitely go for this if he wants to. Disruptor with 100. That's a dead Disruptor probably. It's a nice kinetic field.
He
Walks away, casual as you like.
Still a hard lane though.
Zombies keeping the other 2 heroes under the tower. Still a lot of work being done by Decay early on.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to put another Decay back on him. This Juggernaut is playing it pretty close to the line.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's hard in this lane.
This is definitely a tough lane. As he looks to build into probably phase boots first, do you think, or do you think he needs to get some extra health?
Maybe he goes treads. The phase boots are pretty substantial. He can do with the Ring of Akita, certainly at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Ring of Akita pretty valuable against the Bristleback.
And yeah, also they should get Magic Stick, because they're getting spells thrown out left, right, and centre. So
We have only one support with the Magic Stick right now.
And the non is able to move a bit more freely now.
Zeus moving early to get this top rune. CM's thinking about going down, but she obviously... Actually, he has now destroyed that Observer ward, so CM does not know he's there. She has dewarded the Tide's safety ward there as well. So Tide feeling a lot less safe in this lane. Not really getting much farm. Still not getting zoned out really. Doing what he wants to do.
Abab will finally get his bottle. Bit of a clash here on top. You have to be careful. They got a lot of stacks on him, but he does have strength, so he can get away if he needs to.
Does spin purge your quill stacks?
Quill stacks can't be purged.
Okay. So yeah, obviously quite dangerous there for Juggernaut.
Yeah, definitely. You can heal up. You can disengage and heal up.
Especially as Bristleback looks to hit 4 here. He can do a lot more.
Oh, they're thinking about it. Maybe none can move in. No, they're just going to harass him out late.
Bristleback not choosing to buy boots yet. Staving his gold a bit. Probably going to go for that Ring of Health first. Just to give him a bit more ability to harass in the lane with the CM aura and the Ring of Health. Just keeping him basically max HP and mana the whole time.
The Disruptor is actually going to sit mid against Storm Spirit in case his Abab chooses to get very aggressive.
Storm has now hit 6. Storm's actually out-leveling the Zeus slightly with more experience.
Tide's not had damage.
Tide, he's got the stick, he's got the magic, he's got the damage resist.
They're never getting it. Oh, that's just being
very
out of
close
range.
there. I'm not sure it would have killed him anyway, it's only 150 damage. Juggernaut really suffering under these decay stacks. Can't go near the lane at all.
No. And then if you do go near, like you take decay stacks and 2 quill stacks as well, and you just you're
Currently getting out farmed by all of the core players in every lane for Dire. Only Zeus really representing Radiant in the top net worth chart.
Dire also doesn't really have any stacks to fall back on either. I mean, they're trying to stack now, but what are they going to do?
Oh, this Disruptor's in trouble in the jungle.
Are they going to drop Tombstone? I think he could have killed him though, actually.
I think he could have. I guess he didn't feel like it was worth it.
The Storm Spirit has
Position 5 Disruptor, only on 800 net worth total. Level 2, not really worth a huge amount at this point.
Zeus is actually going to go home. Good map awareness there by Zeus. Unless I think he scouted that out with the Observer Ward, so Zeus is going to go home. And good safe play there.
Zeus walking home, sad plumber man.
Indeed.
Tide has now hit 6, so it'll be interesting to see if they want to do something with Ravage and maybe try and regain the advantage in one of these lanes. Because right now they are pretty much losing all the lanes as we'd expected.
He should just carry TP, I think. If he carries TP, then he can like reinforce any dives on bottom. Try and turn it around. There is going to be multiple things going on.
Dying here, shouting out that Radiant are trying to stack but not actually doing it. Haven't got any stacks in the jungle so far.
Wasting their time. Do you think AA is going to go Midas this game, or do you think Oxford is going to...
I don't think he'll have the chance, to be honest. I think he'll be forced to just buy support items just to stay in the game.
There are the little baby mud golems, as Abab is.
Obviously a huge resource, but these mud golems are now easily killed by magic.
Juggernaut's being sneaky. He wants the secret shop.
Juggernaut using the sneak meta. Sneaky beaky in the trees. They ping him out. They know he's been in.
Oh, he's so
They force out the spin. Huge cooldown on that now at level 1.
42 seconds.
So he really can't go anywhere near the lane for 40 seconds now.
I think this is an old hat pick. I think it's not a good situation to put it into.
I think definitely as a first pick, it reveals a lot about what you want to do. He has been forced to go treads as well, so he's not going to have that damage output that you want from the early game. Just to survive, he needs to do that.
He needs to get. Oh, this is going to be an A. Oh, AA. What?
AA just deciding.
They just have a casual high
yeah,
five
just
here.
saying hello to the storm.
They do manage to get 1 ancient stack here, so that'll be a bit of tight fun when he eventually maxes up his.
Ursa taking a lot of damage under tower there. Bristleback's looking like he wants to go for this. He's got level 6 now. He could dive. There's really not much Radiant can do to stop this bottom lane if they decide they want to dive a hero. Oh, it's sort of a Ravage, I think.
5k players still can't turn on Ring of Borsey.
Shots fired.
We have the supports are basically just going to babysit mid in case Abab gets aggressive. CM is going to drop a ward there, so no more ancient stacking shenanigans.
Yeah, that's obviously going to hinder Tide a bit in his farm that he'll want to do once he does get... Eventually he will be forced out of lane by this Death Prophet.
DP is going to go drums actually.
He's actually chosen to match the Wixcraft for the Exorcism Ghost instead of getting any silence or maxing Crypt Swarm. So she's clearly looking to rotate straight into just taking towers.
I think that's smart.
I think that's the right choice here, definitely. They're going to use and abuse this momentum that they've got. She's going to go right up close to the... Oh, she's actually... She's zoning him out completely. Tide can't go near. Disruptor choosing to come in. There's a huge amount of TPs here. She's being glimpsed back. There's a Ravage available if they want to use it. Tide's in trouble here. He needs to Ravage.
There he goes, gets blown up.
Tide just dying.
He dropped the tombstone.
Yeah, bottom.
Pop Omni Slash, but it's not
Omni
enough.
Slash into the zombies. Not going to do that much.
There he goes.
Never really stood a chance there. Couldn't run away because of the zombies, and he couldn't Omni Slash because of the zombies. Zombies OP. Volvo, please nerf them.
Zombies are simply OP. I think our dying has finally hit a bit too strong.
Meanwhile, Storm taking the stacks of in the Radiant jungle. Doesn't care that he could be bursted if Zeus knew he was there. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you could just zip away actually.
Oh, it's a huge Invis rune pickup there on the Storm Spirit.
Maybe
Gonna be big.
I
want to see some huge Invis, spooky Invis plays. Oh, he's just popped it straight away. What a useless use of the rune. He is back up to full mana and health now though, so he can jump on this Storm, on this Zeus if he wants to go on him.
These lanes are a disaster. It has to be said.
Yeah.
Oxford getting outlaned once again.
Cambridge getting outlaned once again, yeah.
Cambridge, sorry, yeah, of course. 225. I mean, Tidehunter can't even sit in lane really. There's too much magic for us.
Yeah, we are looking at the net worth graph here. You can see Dire firmly on top. Cambridge supports and the off lane, not really getting anything. Only Zeus really, with any farm worth noticing. He's still got the glimpse. He's not going to die from this. But Tidehunter comes in. They're looking for the Ravage. There's the Ravage. Huge amount of damage coming out here. The zombies do fall. Tombstone needs to go down though, or they will just end up getting slowed. These zombies are doing work. Tombstone does eventually fall. Bristleback looking to just kill everyone here, going completely ham.
He runs away. What a god.
He's got his Vanguard, he's got his passive, he just doesn't care about the damage. DP's got to ult up again in 7 seconds in the top lane. Could be a tier 1 and a tier 2.
Meanwhile, Storm Spirit farms away, DP farms away. And
T1 will be falling.
T1 goes down. That was a nice rotation there by Tidehunter.
Yes, definitely. I think it's what they needed to do.
Yeah.
It's the least bad of their options.
Bloodstone coming out now.
AAL coming out to just zone those creeps out a bit.
Gonna be off the mark a bit. Rip creeps.
Creeps will be thinking twice. Zeus pinging out that they have Observer Wood here. Hasn't got any tangos now. Picks up the bounty rune. Storm gets a haste. That could be a bad thing that's going to happen for this level 5, almost 6 disruptor.
Tidehunter incredibly sad, it has to be said. 480 gold, only 2 ancient stacks. It's going to be a long time before break.
Yeah.
Disruptor doesn't have level 6
it is to be said though that the ults on Radiant team are capable of pulling off a team fight this game. Last game I felt like even if they got everything off, they weren't really going to win a team fight. With AA, Disruptor and Tidal, they can definitely get something done here.
Comes in, the Ice Blast is
That's a nice Ice Blast, it hits Storm. He gets glimpsed in, not really anything going to happen to her though. She takes a bit of damage from Zeus, but no one can really go on her with these ghosts around.
Yeah, she's going to hit back up soon.
Yeah, she's not really going to care.
Bristleback
and Undying, Wombo conquering a tower. Tower easy game. The whole Radiant team doing a bit of a standoff here, just trying to stare down the DP Storm. There's a glimpse up here, I think. Oh, in 2 seconds, 1 second. Looking for the glimpse.
Nice play by Abba.
Yeah, excellent anticipation there of the Zeus.
He was just casually farming some blood golems. Meanwhile,
Undying casually farming in an AA.
What happened to that?
AA just decided to go in. Tombstone dropped. He died. This is a T1 for sure, even without the TPO.
They do have static storm now. So if they group up and good they'll be able to
they do have Ravage, static storm, and they will have the AA ult in 15 seconds. Yeah, definitely. Positioning is going to be important here with the possible Tide Ravage. Really, even with Gush affecting him, he's still got 13 armor. He doesn't care. It's a nice Undying on there. Just nice Ravage there. Could be a double kill here. Bristleback's going to fall to his AA ult. DP's in trouble as well. She's got only 100 health. He's definitely going to die here.
The Crystal Maiden ult.
Crystal Maiden.
Not going to hit anything great.
Just doing a little bit of a dance there. Checking in. Obviously, the cooldown on her ult now is not as big at level 1, so it's not as big of a deal that she's used it.
It's a zoning ult.
It is a zoning ult.
They didn't.
A bit of a middle finger to the Radiant team there, who wanted to go a bit more push.
I'm thinking about going big.
Storm Spirit going for this straight straight Bloodstone. Not really showing the Radiant team any respect here.
It's pretty good actually.
It's definitely a viable choice here. He's got quite a lot of farm. He's going to get it pretty quickly.
I mean, if he gets Static Storm, like the Orchid isn't really going to save him, so he could just commit suicide.
Definitely. The Orchid's not going to help him against the Tide really. He'll just crack and shell it off.
Yeah. We'll probably get Orchid next. Like Orchid is still good this game.
I think definitely getting that
help.
extra mana regen as well. So nice against a team with so few hard CCs.
Oh, nice tasty ancient stack. Nice.
Oh, Bristleback's licking his lips, 90s up. The DD ult is popped to take this. They really want to take it quickly.
I think they'll use
The ult is flying in, hits 2. CM's in trouble.
Oh, Abab dodges the ult.
That's Crimson Guard is already up on the Bristleback. There's a glimpse here to bring the Storm Spirit back in. He's just going to zip away again though. Radiant not really sure who they want to focus down here. It's a nice zoning static storm. Undying throws in place. They just about bring down the Tombstone, but Undying's huge right now. Takes out one with the decay. He's chasing. He's got another. He could easily kill this Zeus if he chose to.
Ancient stack secured.
Juggernaut sort of turning up, a bit bewildered about what's happened to his tankiest teammate. Not really able to do anything right now with only level 8 and the treads. He's gone for the Mask of Madness, even squishier than he already was. Not sure that was the right choice here.
You gotta get that Ring of Aquila. Like I don't think it's so good. Like
it's a really good value item when you're behind like this. Getting those Wraith Bands can actually be the right choice, just to get a bit more health, stop dying so quickly in these fights.
I think especially the Ring of Aquila didn't actually get nerfed as far as I can recall, and then like the Quelling Blade change, almost going to use it. Non's got to be really careful here. If he goes on Juggernaut, he's just going to get blown up by Omni Scanner.
That's true. He has got an Invis rune, so he is just doing a bit of scouting here. Radiant with only 2 quite aggressive wards up. They don't really see anyone that's in their jungle right now. There's a Storm and a Crystal Maiden there, both waiting to jump on.
Oh, they see him.
Glimpse the Bristleback back in instead. Bristleback really doesn't care about that much right now. Storm's just looking to do a little bit of baiting here. He knows they haven't got the glimpse or the stuns to take him down.
Gets out of there. Abba playing with his opponent.
Yeah, he's seen the glimpse usage there on the Bristleback, knows that it's down, showing that he doesn't really fear any of the Radiant team. Juggernaut obviously without that, or possibly without that mini stun now, so can't cancel that TP.
Indeed. Undying is sort of hiding in the trees, doing a bit of an HY.
It looks like Tide's prioritizing a mech over this Blink Dagger. It feels like he's not going to get it, he's just going to try and help his team out there, get all the physical damage that's coming their way. It's a nice AL, he's taking a lot of damage here. He's going to die, he's going to fall. Undying's in trouble as well. Tombstone is up though. The CM ult. It's a nice ult, but she gets killed immediately by the Zeus. Zeus in trouble here, he's going to fall to the Storm. Storm with his Bloodstone up now, he's up to 10 charges, or will be after this Tide kill. He's got a lot of damage reduction and armor. You can see just how tanky he is, but it just doesn't matter when you lose with strength.
Easy Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, Storm definitely happy with this decision to build into a Bloodstone.
Indeed. I think they're going to rush a fight now when I'm dying. They're really going to struggle to be able to against it.
Juggernaut AFK farming in the jungle, getting pinged out here by his own Zeus.
Anton forgets that Ring of Health is no longer in the secret shop. I would as well. That's really screwed me over.
Yeah, I've had a few games where I've
It's like, what?
sent the courier to the shop and been upset.
Do you think Juggernaut goes this game?
I don't even know what he goes at this point. He needs to get the damage to burst down these tanky couriers, and he needs to be able to survive the sheer amount of AoE.
Maybe he tries to go SMY or something. Oh, he's got to be careful.
I think SMY is it's an easy pickoff. It's an easy pickoff. He doesn't even get the CF, the bounty rune.
Classic non. He even gets the bounty rune on the Juggernaut. That's a classic non-play right there.
Definitely. There's this very aggressive ward here in the Radiant jungle, so they are trying to scout out when Radiant are going to go farm their jungle, but not really taking advantage of that vision right now. Just going more for objective power gaming.
So tiny.
Definitely, as he gets even more tanky now with the cloak pickup, probably going to build into, or actually Undying's built into a bit of defiance already. So maybe we'll see Pipe coming out of him and a Glimmer Cape coming out of this Bristleback, which would be a nice little thing to have an invisible, angry Bristleback running around, going invisible.
They throw out Cold if they pop the DP ulti, they can absolutely murder this tower. Does Radiant have Glyph?
This Glimmer Cape can actually be huge in conjunction with the CM ult as well.
Radiant does actually have Glyph. So
Although obviously the Zeus can just reveal it if he wants to.
DP is there's the ulti.
There's the ult pop. Dire mean business. They've dropped the Tombstone as well. They are not going home without this tower. This is probably going to transition into a Roche as well, if they want to.
What are they going to do? Are they going to engage into it? They do have Ravage, but the Titan has to walk into there slowly. I think they're just going to get that tower and then back. Yeah, I think that's an easy Roche now.
Yeah, it does look like Dire are moving back, going straight for that Roche. So we're looking for another quick Roche. Radiant only need to hang on for 2 more minutes to outdo their performance last game, but that's not saying much.
I don't think they'll break high ground in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking to take out these last T2 towers and then maybe secure a pick against one of the bigger heroes like a Tide or a Jug. Radiant playing very scared right now. Actually, they're going aggressive. They're finding a fight here before the Roche happens. Hey, oh, misses. That's going to be pretty huge in this fight. Possibly enough to even just stop them from fighting altogether here. Storm Spirit baiting out the Roche pit.
Yeah, maybe. They have no vision. I'm not sure they can do it. It might be bait is the trouble.
Radiant not keen to split up at all right now. They know that the Storm could just pick them off at will.
Crystal Maiden will get some more wards. Classic fashion.
Tide closing in on his mech now. You can really see the difference in last hits though, with Storm completely dominating. He's got half again as much as the Juggernaut here.
Being annoying.
Yeah, Storm just memeing a little bit, putting up some spirits everywhere, some remnants.
He's gonna chip away at the tower.
He's got to be careful though. There is this max range glimpse into a static Storm that could catch him.
Nobody's in position now. I think this is actually 3-2-2.
Radiant don't really know what objectives they're trying to take. They're just milling around a bit in a lane where they've already got no towers. And they are being scouted out by these very aggressive observer wards from the Dire team.
They know where the whole team is pretty much at any
Yeah.
time. The AA is going to rush Ags without Midas.
Yeah, Radiant completely trapped within this sort of zone of effect here.
I think they'll try and push out the lanes and then go and do Roche. Yeah, they'll push this out and then go. Or they'll wait for DPL.
Yeah, I think DPL is what they're waiting for.
Oh, we have a tactical pause.
We have a nice little tactical puppy pause here.
Let's take a look at the. Let's take this moment to look
Juggernaut
at the
maybe.